Today I'm going to talk about the YSI models because this is the YSI reference. Mainly, this is the reference model. In practical, we are using the TCP/IP, the protocols here to do the communications between the two systems. Communication in the sense we are transmitting the data from one place to another place. As we are requesting the web service, the web page from one web page from the servers. So these kind of communications, it will be it will be happen because with the help of that protocol only. Because you know that one system want to communicate with another system means it should follow some protocol, some rules and regulations. So these are the rules and regulations it will be follow to communicate with another systems. The basic reference, it is the YSI model, but this YSI in practical we are taking only the five layers into considerations. But in YSI model, I will explain that each and every layers in details. It will be helpful for you how their data is transmitting from the one systems to another systems. Okay. But first, we should know about the physical layers. The physical layers, in the sense, the wired mediums and wireless mediums are there. The wired, in the sense, coaxial cable, then the optical fiber cables, okay, twisted path cables. We are using different cables to transmit the data in the form of voltages. Okay, from one place to another places, because we are transmitting ones and zeros only, but the ones and zeros are represented in the voltages. Because if you study the line coding, you will know that the ones and zeros are represented, because there are different line coding techniques are there to represent that the ones and zeros. Without Because in line coding we don't use any carrier signal to represent that the data, because we are using only the ones and zeros to transmit the signals. If you want to transmit the signals in the form of light, we can use the optical fibers. It is having that more bandwidth. You can transmit a large amount of data so within a second. If you go for that coaxials or Ethernet means there are multiple different varieties of Ethernet cables are there, gigabit Ethernet on 10 gigabit Ethernets like that. Based on and your Ethernet selections, you can transmit the data at high speeds. Okay. Then the data link layer. In data link layers, we are having that the frames, because we are calling that the bits the formation of bits we are going to represent in a frame. So okay, and then in these frames we have the start bit and stop bits on that. If it is a asynchronous transmissions, we can use the start bit and stop bit like that. Okay. Head trailers like that. Okay. In data link layer, it is mainly useful for the flow control mechanisms. Yes, flow control means we can, that if once if there is any collision is happens, then after that, after some time, so we or retransmit the data from the center to the receiver. We are having the CSMA, CA or CSMA CD techniques also there. After that collision happens, so if you take some actions to avoid that problem in future, means you can go for that CSMA-CD. In CSMA-CD, we are mostly using in that the wired. Okay, in wireless, they were using that wireless LAN kind of things. We can use that CSMA-CA. In CSMA CD, wired means it's IEEE 802. It's a Ethernet communications. Okay, because once we are using four or five channels, they are using the common channels to share the data with each others. But if two systems are trying to send at the same time, what it will happen after the collision? It will be happen after the collisions only. We will take some actions. After some times, we start to these two systems. They start to transmit at the different times. So that kind of CSMA CD takes I'm talking about. Then we can, if you take CSMA CA in the sense, because we are using the OTS and CTS, the signals to avoid the collisions between the two systems. Okay. Then in data link layers, mainly we are using the MAC layers. MAC means MAC address. We are represented in 48 bits, and it is represented in hexadecimal representations. Each and every device is having some unique MAC address, So with the help of that MAC address only, we can identify the particular systems and we can transmit the data to that the particular systems. Okay. Then the MAC address only, it is not enough to transmit the data. We are in the need of IP address also. So we go for that network layers. We are go for these network layers. This is the network layers which contains, that the IP address, IP version 4 and IP version 6. This kind of address are there. Do you know why we are using that IP address? You know that it is a end-to-end transmissions because we don't change the IP address of the source and destinations when you decided to transmit the packets. It is same throughout the packet transmissions. You know that the MAC address only it will be changed for each and every hop of transmissions. Because if you jump from that, that if I send any data, at initially my data it should be moved from my system to my routers. Okay, now the source MAC address is my system address and the destination MAC address is my router. Because after that, the packet it is moved from that router to that another router means this the first router is considered as a source router, the second router is considered as a destination routers. Likewise, in each and every jump, hop to hop delivery, because we will change the MAC address every time. Okay, but you know that at which basis we will find out the path to transmit the packet from the source to destinations based on destination IP address. Okay, because the routers having the routing tables, inside the routing tables, it will check that where that destination's network is located. Then after that, it will check which row, because which what are the shortest paths are there, shortest paths are there to reach the destination, on which basis the shortest path is selected means based on the cost values. Because we will, if it is a higher cost value, don't select that path to transmit the packet to reach the destination. So if it is a low cost path means it will select the path to reach the destination. So okay, which basis the cost values we will be declared as a high or low. Because if they use the coaxial cable to connect the two networks, so okay, if you pass your packets through that line, means coaxial cables data transmission is low. But the another path also, one more path also there. If you transmit through that packets, that they used optical fiber in the places. If you transmit the packet in that path, it will be reach the destination within a certain time, quickly, So I assign the low cost to that path and high cost to this coaxial cable path. Okay, so based on that cost values, it will select this like the that path and it will forward the packet to reach the destination. So okay, so these are the mainly using these IP is packet is IP version 4 and IP version 6 is mainly used in transfer the packets from source to destination. So, and the transport layer, we use the TCP and UDP. You know that the TCP in a sense, it's a connection-oriented protocol. You know that the whole the data is split out into the segments, and each and every segments are assigned. We assign some sequence numbers to that each and every segments, and it takes these segments. It takes independent paths to reach that destinations. But at receiver side, once it reaches the destinations, it will check that sequence numbers. Okay, if it will arrange all the sequence numbers in order, then it will send that acknowledgement to each and every segment. So if any other segments is missed, it will ask the source to retransmit the packets. Okay, so at the same time, the port numbers also assigned in this transport layer only. Source port number, destination port numbers. Okay, with the help of that the TCP, we can reach that destination. So you know that the protocols and with the help of the port numbers, we can once with the help of the IP address, the packet reach from source to destinations. Okay, once the packet it reach the destinations at the destination sites, because in my web browser I opened the three tab. Okay, because this web page is going to reach the first web page only means each and every web page is having different port numbers. If I know the port numbers, I will particularly I can send this web page to where that particular tab. Okay, that person the web page it will be display in that particular tab, so it will be very easy if you're to send that the packet to the particular task if you know the port numbers. Okay, if it is a UDP, means if you send the packet, you don't get any acknowledgement. There is no sequence number allocation is that. Okay, because if you want to send any emergency messages, means you can you don't worry about that acknowledgement. You can use that UDP. Okay, then session layer it is mainly used for that authentication. Then authorization. Authentication means username and password. It should be match. Then only you can enter into that server. Then after that, authorization means how much powers do you have? You know that if I go to some other websites means I can read it. Okay, I can read that content in the website. I can download it, but I cannot modify that. The content because I don't have authorization to modify the content like that. Because we are using this basically to transmit that it gives that after the gives that authentication only we can transmit the data from one place to another place. The presentation layers it converts from one languages to another languages. It will do the encryptions at the center side and the decryptions at the receiver side. It will compress the data at the center side and decompress the data at the receiver side. Okay, then in application layers, there are so many applications out there. Based on that, which applications you are using, based on that, we can use specific protocol. If you use the main, we can use SMTP protocols, then POP3, then IMAP protocols. If you search the URL, you go for HTTP protocols. If you search the IP address for your domain name, you can use the DNS protocols. If you want to monitor the traffic levels of that each and every devices, you can go for SNMP protocols. Okay, so the different if you want to transfer the file, you can use the file transfer protocols. Telnet means if because you can access the server from different locations. Okay, so these are the protocols mostly there in OS in layers. Okay, it is very interesting topic. If you study this. You can go for the network and related jobs. Thank you for listening. Thank you.